Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're in the kitchen and I'm trying something for the first time. I have wanted to learn to can tomato sauce for years. Last year I did not get enough tomatoes. This year I still didn't plant enough tomatoes, but I found a farm a couple minutes from our house that was offering 25-pound boxes of Roma tomatoes, and I went ahead and bought myself one today. I had from my garden 2 gallon-sized bags of tomatoes that I cut the tops off of and scored the bottoms, and I froze them so I could make sauce this weekend. Well, today we're in full-blown sauce making mode. Chris is over here cutting up tomatoes. There's what's left on the counter, and this is what we got going on the stove. So you'll notice I already have some what looks like sauce in the pan. Chris and Lila cut up a bunch of tomatoes. That pan was full. It reduced that much. So since my first batch is done, the Ball Canning book says to let that keep boiling and just keep adding your tomatoes. You just want to let them break down. I researched 3 books. They were all Ball books, so they were pretty similar recipes, but I'm just using the OG, the Ball Guide to Home Preserving. So you just want those tomatoes to break down and get really soft and mushy, and then it says to let it boil for 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna run it through the food mill. There are other ways you could do this, but because I had so many tomatoes, I figured this would be the best way. I just bought this at my local hardware store. Is this gonna be the easiest way? Hell if I know. Diana over at Move North Homestead, my girl, she told me about this way. So you cut the tops off, core them out, which you'll see Chris is still doing, and then you slice an X in the bottom of the tomato. You freeze them for when you're ready, and then when you want to go and use them, thaw them out. The skin should come right off. I'm just putting them right in the pot, so I don't know if that works. I want to say yes because those tomatoes are really squishy, so the skin probably will peel right off of those, but I'm just adding everything right to my pot. I only have quart jars right there, so I'm going to do some quarts. And if you saw Chris, he cut the tops off. That white greenish part in the inside is the core. That's what holds the stem. You want to get rid of that and then quarter them and then boil them down. So I'm gonna get to stirring my witch's brew and I will be back shortly to show you what I do next. Like I said, I've never canned tomato sauce. I am super excited about this. I am so glad that that farm offered the box of tomatoes. I went there first thing this morning at 9 o'clock when they opened. It was the last box that they had. So, I mean, look at this. I'm so excited. So since my tomatoes are cooked down, I'm scooping them off and I am running them through the food mill. I will turn it around and show you what that looks like. So here is my sauce and skins and tomatoes. Pour it into the food mill. And most of it's going to drain on its own. And as you can see, it's doing a pretty damn good job. And what it's going to leave you is the skins and seeds. So I am saving them, and I believe I'm going to try to use an immersion blender and make them into a tomato soup. Simply Jan taught me that. So we are still trying to make room for my gallon of frozen tomatoes. So it looks like there's room. I'm going to put them in, let them get nice and soft. We just backed the food mill up, and all the pulp got in a pile and he just dumped it right out. Super, super easy. This is what you're left with once you run it through the food mill. So once you have done your whole pot, you're gonna put that tomato liquid back in a pot and you're gonna reduce it to about 1/3 if you want a thin sauce or half for a thicker sauce. Like I said, flying by the seat of my pants. I am totally heavily relying on the ball book to get me through this. So let's add the last of my tomatoes and get them processing so we can get the ball rolling with this sauce. Chris is trying just the liquid that's left before we boil it down. It smells just like tomato soup, guys.
It's got a little bit, it tastes just like it, but it's got a little raw flavor. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Cook it down any better.
So he said it was good. It's got a good tomato flavor. It just still kind of has like a raw tomato flavor. So once we boil it down some more, I bet it will taste just like tomato soup. And one good thing about making sauce is Chris is out back adding the cores and the stem part to our composter. If you remember, we got that for a wicked good steal off of Facebook Marketplace. So you cut the stems off, you core them, they go in the composter. The seeds and the skin, I'm gonna immersion blend them and make tomato soup. So there is no waste. We're not wasting any of the tomato. That's pretty freaking awesome. We got all of our tomatoes, ran through the food mill, and this is what we are left with. It worked pretty good. Chris did all the muscle part of it, but this is all we're left with. And we started with, what did we figure out, like 33 pounds of tomatoes. And this large Pyrex bowl, not even full, is what we are left with. And you'll see some juice in there, but I don't think it's enough to even matter. This stuff is pretty thick. But look at those beautiful red skins. So once we ran the broken down tomatoes through the food mill, we are left with a glorious liquid that we are going to bring to a boil, and then we're going to let it reduce by 1/3 for a thin sauce. For a thicker sauce, by half. So now we wait for boiling tomato sauce. And over here, I have my jars bringing to a boil. So here it is, hours and hours and hours later, and our tomato sauce is still reducing down. Let me show you how it's coming along, slowly but surely. So you can see it was up to here. So it is reducing. It is just taking its sweet ass time. It's getting there. I had no idea this was going to be an all-day thing. I've been bitching for the last like 2 hours. But I am hoping it is worth it. Please tell me it is worth it. That I'm going to try this sauce that I literally slaved over a hot stove for, and it is just going to taste so good. Please tell me that that is what I'm going to experience when I eat this sauce. Otherwise, I don't know if I'll be doing this again. I really don't know how you people that can all day, a few times a week, how you do it. Because I'm like exhausted. I feel like I need to take a day off of work tomorrow. I'm so exhausted from canning sauce. Okay, I will stop bitching now, but I really do hope that this is really, really good. I am super excited, and if it is really, really good, then they have a You Pick plum tomato season that starts just after Labor Day. So if we really, really like it and it's the best thing since sliced bread, we will take ourselves after Labor Day and You Pick some more tomatoes to make some more sauce. I can't believe I said that out loud, but I think if it turns out good, that's what we're gonna do. So you'll see that my sauce has reduced, I'd say, between a third and half. It took a really long time. I am going to add it to the jars. For quarts, you need 2 tablespoons of bottled lemon juice, and I'm just gonna add salt. So 1 teaspoon of salt to the jar, and then I'm just gonna keep it plain Jane and jar it up, and I'll show you what that looks like. As you saw, we put our 7 quart jars in the canner, waiting for it to come back to a boil so we can process them. I want to show you how much we got left. This was almost the perfect amount. Out of all those tomatoes, I don't even think this is enough to fill a jar. There might be 2 ladlefuls there. So I think there's just like 2 ladles left over. I think that was perfect. Fingers crossed everything comes out good. Like I said, I have never done this before. Oh my gosh, it took forever. So, is it normal for it to take that long? I don't know. Does my stove suck? What's going on? But they are in the canner. Once they come up to a boil, for the quart jars, 40 minutes. If I had pints, it would be 35 minutes. So, we shall see. I guess I'll meet you back here in 40 minutes. So I'm waiting for my tomatoes to process. I have 7 minutes left. Does anyone else feel like when they process things, an eternity goes by before it's ready and you can take it out of the canner? Is it just me? And we're in the home stretch. We are in the home stretch, everyone. We will see how this shit show of a day turned out. So my tomato sauce is done. I have taken it out of the canner. This is what it looks like. It looks pretty good to me. I have heard 5 of the 7 jars make the notorious ping. I got 7 quarts, which is a lot of sauce. So we will let it sit. I'm sure they will all seal. And we will have to try it at some point. I'm sure it is going to be delicious. And I know I bitched a lot. But it was a lot of work. I don't think I quite realized how much work goes into canning tomato sauce. I've done pickles. I've done banana peppers. No problem. But holy moly, 33 pounds of tomatoes. That's a lot. And it is 8 something at night. We need to get to bed because 5:30 comes super early in the morning. Well, thanks for watching me not fail while I can tomatoes for the first time. I'm channeling my inner grandmother here. I'm hoping she was with me. I'm hoping she was watching down saying, Chrissy, you're doing great. I'm sure I did everything fine. I followed the ball recipe just like it was supposed to. So I'm sure it's going to be fantastic and I won't ever bitch about tomato sauce ever again. So thanks for checking out this video and we will see you on the next one.